Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Should be fixed in just a moment. Alright, so it looks like Reeler is slightly ahead going into Poppy Bros here. Poppy Bros can either give us 3 bombs or a dance. Looks like Reeler's gonna get the dance, unfortunately. Speedman get that RNG minute from the way it looks in order to not get the dance there. So that's gonna set Reeler back a little bit. Both runners getting very good movement through this first stage. You're gonna lag reduction in green greens just because they have a ton of sprites on screen at pretty much all times, and you want to remove as many as possible in order to avoid just slowdown as well as dropping your inputs, which is very, very common in this game. When it lags, it drops a lot of inputs. Alright, looks like Speedman got his RNG minute because it looks like he got perfect RNG on Wispy there. Reeler only 1 cycle behind on Wispy, but they did get a little bit of win. Something to note is the RNG manipulation basically works by them looking at the seed that is changing, the RNG seed that the game determines based on a number of different things that happen. It'll just change if certain events happen on screen. But at the beginning of every level, it is reset to a certain value. So if they lose, so if we see Speedman lose the manipulation, they have the ability to bring it back in the next level. Looks like both players getting pretty good movement through the first part of Castle Lolo here. Not sure if Speedman lost their RNG manip or if this is part of it. I don't remember if they had theirs set up to have all top row on the mini fight. I know their original one did not, so it's possible they still have the manipulation. Alright, Speedman going for the Curry kill. Reeler finishing up the Lolo mini fight. See if Speedman is going to be able to get into the boss fight here without losing the Curry or losing too much time. Very well-timed damage boost there to give them a little bit of a larger window, and they get the quick kill and they are moving on. That gives them a pretty hefty lead over Reeler right now. Reeler going for double hits, just barely missing, unfortunately. Alright, Speedman heading into Floaty Islands here. Reeler's got 2 more hits left on Lala here. Floaty Islands is one of the most difficult levels in this run. It's got a lot of more advanced platforming, as well as having just a lot of enemies on screen pretty much at all times. The cannons are a huge problem because they produce a ton of sprites that will lag the game quite a bit. Those seeds you'll see on Speedman's screen right now also lag the game a weirdly large amount. And also, of course, anything that shoots out a beam or a boomerang or any type of enemy, that mainly those lemon beams are the worst. Alright, Speedman making their way through the cave here. Really getting pretty good movement on the outside section here. This first outdoor section of Floaty Islands is infamously one of the worst rooms in the whole game. Speedman going curryless on the boat here and getting very good movement. Curry is a little bit safer, but it loses a little bit of time, mainly due to slowdown. Saw a little swag jump there on Reeler's screen. I believe we saw that from Speedman as well. A little bounce off that platform near the spikes. Alright, Reeler heading onto the boat right as Speedman is going into Kabula. Reeler also going curryless. Seeing very good movement from both players here. Speedman opted to stay up close. They got lots of health, so that makes sense. Definitely a very good fight and perfect placement at the end to grab the star. Definitely a good split from Speedman. Now we got Reeler also going into Kabula. They got full health, so they'll probably also be playing it pretty up close. Speedman going into Bubbly Clouds now. Section has a couple pretty difficult sections. Speedman just failing that Starfy jump, unfortunately. That's a really, really tight jump in order to get it between those 3 Starfies. Luckily, they were able to take the damage on the way up in order to damage boost forward instead of backward. It's very easy to lose time there by boosting backwards on accident. Speedman getting textbook execution through that room. That room usually causes a ton of lag, but they were able to get rid of all of the enemies on screen, basically reducing it to essentially no lag. Reeler had no problems with Kabula, played it nice and up close, and now they're going into Bubbly Clouds as well. They got the Starfy jump. Again, very tight jump. Speedman going into my least favorite room of this whole game. Lots of vertical and horizontal movement, which is kind of rare for this game. Also, there's a ton of flying enemies, flying Gordos. Like, there's just so much stuff going on this board that you have to really pay attention. Really taking a little bit of damage there in the laggy room. That's alright, they're getting pretty good movement thereafter, so they only lost a very small amount of time. Speedman going for the swag strats in this Cracko Jr. fight, standing in that little tiny spot. I'm not exactly sure how wide that spot is, but I believe it's only a couple pixels at most. Really making pretty good movement through this vertical horizontal room as well. Don't believe they took any damage. Got some pretty tight jumps, like right over that Starfy there. Speedman got the graphical glitch. Basically allows you to grab the power-up at the same frame that you go into the water, and it puts Kirby sprite in the background for some reason. It doesn't affect gameplay at all, except for the fact that it makes Kirby significantly harder to see in certain portions. But it sure looks cool, so definitely an extra swag point to Speedman there. Yeah, Sniper, that room is the worst, if you ask me. A lot of people say Floaty Islands 1. Nah, I say that room. Alright, Speedman making his way into Cracko. Reeler making his way through the wall room with good movement. A little bit of damage boost off there. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but it does save a little bit of time because it boosts you forward. So we take those. See if Cracko is going to be nice to Speedman, see if he got that RNG minute. So far, it looks like they got the RNG minute. They're getting a lot of waddle doos. Yep, they definitely got it. This is an incredibly fast Cracko fight due to this RNG minute. It's pretty incredible to see. Very, very, very good split from Speedman. It was incredibly clean. I didn't see any mistakes, and got the RNG minute all the way through. It was basically perfect. Alright, Reeler, let's hope Cracko is nice to you, so you can put up with this RNG minute. So far, getting quite a few lemons. Speedman going into Wispy first. You'll notice that is a bit of an unusual choice, but that is for the RNG minute. Pretty much every other runner not using RNG minute will go into the Castle Lolo fight first because you're closer to the door, so it's slightly faster to get to. But the RNG minute saves enough time to where it's definitely worth going out of order, even if it like loses a second there, you save some time later. Oh no, it looks like Reeler lost one of the last hits there, but they got a Waddle Doo right after, so really didn't lose too much time there. They are not that far behind. They could definitely catch up, especially if Speedman loses the manip here at the end. This race is not over yet. They are only one refight behind. Both into Mountain DDD, into the Gauntlet, anything can happen. Speedman getting the swag jump over right there over that little gap. Yep, as we see here, Reeler going for Castle Lolo first. Speedman going into the Kabula fight now. Now, one thing to keep in mind here with these refights is that you don't get a health refill after them, and so you need to really be careful with all of your damage boosting strats. Reeler just missing the double hit, unfortunately, but they have a chance to go for it again here. Oh, darn, actually, no. My bad. They were right at the health level where they would kill off Lolo. But, yeah, you want to be really careful with your health through here because you don't get health refills, so damage boosting strats are a little bit sketchier in the refight section. There's a couple Gordo skips you can go for, but you can get a little iffy. And then playing the Kabula refight up close is also a little iffy. Same with going for double hits in the Lolo Lala refight. Alright, looks like Speedman has kept their RNG minute. Because they are getting Waddle Doos about every other here, which is very fast. Hopefully Reeler gets some good RNG and is able to keep up. So far, they've gotten pretty decent RNG so far. Nothing that can compare to the RNG minute strats, but still not bad RNG. They still have a chance. Alright, Speedman heading into the Lolo Lala refight now. Reeler's only got one more hit left on Cracko. They got pretty good RNG through both of their Crackos. I'd say about average. Maybe a little bit better than average. Speedman going for the double hits with a damage boost, getting it. Going for another double hit. Oh, almost getting it. That was very close. Getting a double hit when Lolo and Lala are a whole 2 lanes apart is incredibly difficult. I've never been able to do it. All right, Speedman going into DDD now. Getting a lot of inhales here at the beginning. Not sure if they held the RNG minute, but I guess we'll see in a moment. Reeler going into Kabula, playing it up close, nice and risky, trying to save those frames. Speedman is not getting good RNG on DDD. I think they might have actually dropped the minute, which means that if it's not, it would not be unheard of to see Reeler take this back. If we see any kind of bad movements here from DDD, and then really good from Reeler, could change things up. But so far, it looks like this is probably going to be Speedman's game. They only got 4 hits left on DDD. I will say, like, even though it looks like Speedman dropped the manip here in the DDD stage, they got it through both Cracko fights, which is, like, in my opinion, way more important. Like, DDD definitely has bad RNG, but he has 2 different attacks he can give you that will give you stars instead of just 1. So it's definitely slightly higher odds to get better attacks from DDD, especially with the possibility of going for double hits if you get a jump. So the fact that they were able to carry it this far was definitely hugely beneficial to their time. Speedman got 1 hit left on DDD. Reeler made, honestly, very good recovery. Got pretty close to catching up to Speedman, even though they were not using the RNG minute. All right, GG to Speedman. Speedman finished with an official SRL time of 12:06. Very, very quick time. All right, Reeler has only got 2 more hits left on DD. All right, there it is. And Reeler is finished with an official SRL time of 12:48. GG to both players. It was a super good race. They both had incredible movements through pretty much all of those sections. Barely saw hardly any mistakes that I could think of. And the small mistakes we saw often resulted in no time loss because they were, like for example, Speedman's damage boost off the Starfy, doing the Starfy jump in bubbly clouds. Like, yeah, that was definitely a mistake, but it didn't actually lose any time. If anything, it gained time because it just pushes you forward. It just lost a little bit of health. So, like, this is an incredible match. Very excited to see what happens next. Keep in mind, this RNG manip is incredibly hard to hold up, and it's especially in a tournament setting where like anxiety is high. You're trying to beat out this other player, trying to get a better time. Like a bunch of people watching. Like it would not be unheard of to see Speedman drop the manip completely, and then it just comes down to how well can these players execute. So definitely stick around. Don't forget, this is a best of 3 tournament. So we have at least 1 more race. If Reeler takes the next one, then we got 3 races. So stick around. Thanks for hanging out with me here on Speed Gaming 2. Keep in mind, I got my eyes on the chat. But yeah, let's just give the runners a few seconds here and myself to get a sip of water and get ready for this next race. Looks like we are just about ready to go, and we will be getting underway here with the next race in just a few moments. Alright, race 2 is underway. Going back to good old home of green greens. Nice, nice that everyone's all warmed up now. Should see some pretty close race, I'm hoping, for this one. The last one was very close. Really got pretty decent RNG throughout that last race, so hopefully they get good RNG through here. And hopefully Speedman's able to hold their manips to also get good RNG. Alright, so let's see how Poppy Bros is going to treat us today. Again, Poppy Bros can give us a bomb or a dance. We do not want a dance. Reeler got the dance last time. No dance this time. So keeping up a little bit better. The dance is unfortunate when one runner gets it and the other doesn't. It's a very early setback that does set back quite a few seconds. Both runners getting very good movement through here, canceling out a lot of the enemies, either by swallowing them or killing them. Both on the climb here, they're pretty much neck and neck. Speedman slightly ahead. Alright, let's see if Speedman was able to hold the manip. Apples right off the bat, so I'd say it looks like they probably got it. Unfortunately, Reeler getting some wind. Speedman got perfect RNG, so he definitely got the RNG manip there. Reeler getting a ton of wind, unfortunately. Getting like 2.5 wind cycles through this Wispy, so that's no good, unfortunately. But still keeping very good time. Very close together still. You'll notice both runners canceling out the microphones and the bombs. You don't want to use either of those. They get rid of enemies on screen, but they're really slow in that the bomb lags the whole game a lot, and the microphone causes you to like stop and like plays a small little cutscene where it's like a little tune that destroys all the enemies. So you want to avoid pretty much all of that stuff. Really getting a slightly different configuration for this mini fight. I believe that might have been their intended RNG manip there, because it looked like they lost it in Casalolo in the last round, but they were able to get the curry kill anyway. So it wasn't a huge deal, but I believe they got it because that RNG for the mini fight was almost perfect. And the almost perfect RNG in that mini fight is essentially the same as getting perfect. Yep, looks like they got the RNG manip because that was the exact setup they wanted. So GG to Speedman, holding the RNG manip all the way through so far. Reeler also in the Lolala mini fight here, or in the Lolala fight here, going for the double hits, but just barely missing it, unfortunately. Those double hits are super hard to get. Going for another one and getting it. They got the backup, which was good. Speedman heading through room 1 of Floaty Islands here. Reeler about to enter Floaty Islands as well. Speedman getting very good movement so far, as well as Reeler. Again, the stage is very difficult. There's a lot of very precise platforming and a lot of hazards to avoid, as well as a lot of lag management you need to do in order to really get a good time here. Speedman again going courierless. Boosting through the cannon instead of going over it. Saves a little bit of time. Both runners again getting a little swag bounce. You notice there, Reeler goes to the top row in the cave there over that shell, which is slightly faster. I believe Speedman goes below. Saves like maybe half a second at most, probably less. But it is slightly optimized movement. Point being, Reeler's definitely putting up a pretty good fight here. Speedman, again, opting to go real up close. Avoids, I believe, almost every hit or every hit. Reeler is also going up to Kabula now. Probably also going to play very close. They got full health, so they got nothing to lose, really. As long as you don't make any... As long as you don't miss a bunch of shots, if you have full health, you can pretty much always just go right up to Kabula and just brute force it. They're not gonna be able to get enough shots out to damage you. Like you saw there, Reeler was damage boosting most of the time and only left with like losing 2 health. Speedman heading into Speedman and Reeler heading into Bubbly Clouds now. Again, Speedman getting this room with textbook execution. That is the best and fastest way to do that room. There's usually a ton of lag there, but if you get rid of all of those guys in there before they're able to fire off any lemons or boomerangs, it definitely saves quite a bit of time just from not lagging. Speedman making very good, clean movement through this awful room here. Damage boosting off of one of the Bleakers there. Reeler also getting very good movement. This outdoor section right here after the lag room is pretty tough. There's a lot of enemies. There's a lot of different options of things you can do there. A lot of people choose to damage boost through it, including myself because it's a difficult part. But Reeler just clutches it out, doesn't take any damage. Reeler getting the snipe there, but also just accidentally taking a little bit of damage there as well from the Bleaker's friend, but that's okay. Only down 1 health going into Cracko Jr. is pretty fine, pretty safe. Speedman getting that frame perfect swag glitch again. Also having pretty much no trouble finding his spot on the wall. The main issue with that glitch is that it can be very hard to find yourself through that background that barely has any holes in it. And it can be hard to line up for where you're trying to go at into the wall, which is going to be the second from the top. Reeler also getting the swag glitch. Very exciting to see both runners get that. As you saw there, Reeler just barely missed that that second to the top row. Kind of like what I was talking about. It's just hard to see where Kirby is in the background there. It does look super cool though. I always go for it personally. I've said this before, I'll say it again. My runs live and die by the swag strat. All right, let's see if Speedman got this RNG minute. Looks like it so far. They're getting quite a few Waddle Doos. Yeah, they're getting Waddle Doo like every other, which I believe is like best case scenario. I believe you can't get straight Waddle Doos. I don't believe there's been a seed found that gives you that yet. Very good job. Good segment from Speedman there. Let's hope that Reeler is able to keep up with some good RNG. So far, it's not been great, but it's been okay. Getting a lot of lemons from Cracko, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll be able to see. Oh, there we go. Reeler's making looks like Reeler's making lemonade because they got out of that Cracko fight very quickly there at the end. Lots of lemons, but no problem. Still got pretty good RNG through there, so still anyone's match. Speedman keeping the RNG minute from the looks of it, not getting any win off the bat from Wispy here. Yep, definitely held the RNG minute because they got perfect RNG. Reeler going for Wispy now. Interesting. Not sure why Reeler is going for Wispy. I asked them before the run if they were doing RNG minutes, and they said no. But I don't know. Maybe he's trying to change it up. Alright, Speedman heading into Kabula. Going for the risky strats, as he usually does. Reeler is very good at Kabula fights. You rarely see him take damage. He just knows exactly where to stand, or where to float, I guess. Alright, Reeler heading into the Kabula mini fight now. Getting the swag jump over that little pit. That's a pretty tight jump. Doesn't look like much if you haven't played this game a lot, but if you have, you know that jump is very tight. Alright, Speedman going into Cracko again. Let's see if they're able to hold this RNG minute. Looks like it so far. One thing I wonder is if there might be a more optimal seed that Speedman could use is my only question, because this one has a lot of lemons. And I believe that the back and forth is like slightly faster. Could be wrong on that. I'm not sure exactly what the delay is between the attacks and when Cracko can throw the Waddle Doo, so not 100% sure, but might have to ask Speedman about that at the end of the race. Alright, Reeler into the Lolo Lala mini fight now, right as Speedman enters it as well. Reeler got pretty bad patterns, unfortunately, which hasn't allowed them to go for double hits. Oh, they might go for it here, though. Yep, alright, cool. Reeler got one double hit, that's very good. Alright, Reeler heading into the Cracko refight now. If Reeler gets really good RNG here, then they could easily retake this, but looks like this might be Speedman's race. They're going into DDD with a bit of a lead here. Looks like they might have kept their RNG minute this time. So far, they've gotten perfect from DDD. Went for the double hits, looks like they missed it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they also took damage there. Reeler getting decent RNG here from Cracko, but nothing that I believe will save the race, unfortunately. Probably about average RNG from Cracko. But Speedman's only got 3 health, and Speedman likes to go for double hits, so it's very possible that we could see a death here from Speedman. They're down to 2 health now. If we see a death from Speedman, Reeler could easily take this. On DDD. 1 health on DDD. Alright, and that's it for Speedman. It looks like Speedman is going to be taking this match. Speedman finished with an official SRL time of 11:28, which is honestly ridiculous. That is an incredibly good time. Very, very good time, especially for a tournament. Seeing a sub 11:30 in a race is pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. I don't know if we've seen another sub 30 in this race. We might have. I haven't seen all the races, but that's definitely one of few, if so. Reeler's only got 4 hits left on DDD. Not getting great RNG. Reeler has gotten pretty bad DDD RNG for 2 games in a row, which is pretty unfortunate to see. Their Cracko RNG also was nothing miraculous. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely caused them to lose, just get farther behind, just lose some time. I will say, though, Reeler's movement has been pretty fantastic. I had not seen almost any mistakes from them through both of these races. Speedman as well. just goes to show you RNG manip definitely can help you out if you know how to do it, if you can learn it. It's super hard, or it can be super hard to learn. Not as bad as other games, but it's still challenging. But it has rewards. All right, looks like Reeler has finished with an official SRL time of 12:48. Definitely got messed up a little bit by that RNG there at the end. All right, let's see if we can get the runners in here to do some commentary. Give me just one moment. All right, it looks like we're getting a couple. It looks like we got Speedman in here now. How's it going, Speedman?
Not bad. How about you?
I'm doing well, thanks. GG on the race. Very good execution throughout that entire.
Thank you. I was able to hold on to the manipulation both races through the last part of the low refight. So I was really pleased to be able to do that on stream.
Yeah, it was very impressive to watch, especially seeing like those Cracko fights are just so wild to watch with the RNG manip, especially just like in this game for so long. You see so many bad Cracko fights. You go in there and see you get Waddle Doos like every other is super fun to watch. So GG on that. I know that's not the easiest thing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really a game changer. I've put in probably 5,000 plus attempts, and it really makes things better.
Yeah, honestly, like the RNG manip has made me think about coming back to this game, because I quit this game, quit running it mostly because I was sick of grinding RNG. But with RNG manip now, it kind of changed the speed run in a big way.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have anything that didn't exactly go your way during that race that you weren't super happy?
Not a whole lot. As far as my execution, just little minor things, but that happens during races. Probably the worst thing was that first race DDD fight. That was something else.
Yeah, you got some pretty bad RNG in that DDD fight. Reeler also got really bad RNG in that DDD fight. So you guys were both not getting the best of luck there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I went in at 10:20 something, and I thought this is going to be easy. And then I looked over at my timer, and I was already at 11:50, and I'm like, DDD, you're embarrassing me.
Right. Yeah. Looks like we got Reeler in here as well. How's it going, Reeler?
It's going good. How about you guys?
Going good, thanks. GG on your races there, man. Like you didn't end up getting a win, but like your execution was fantastic. I saw barely any mistakes from either of you on stream, so definitely very good job. But DDD was just not having it for you today.
That's how it goes.
Really, did you have anything you wanted to highlight from the race? Something that went well or not so well?
I mean, I felt like the Lolo La 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 didn't go that well for me today, but everything else I felt pretty confident in.
Yeah, you did not get very good patterns. They were pretty spaced out for most of your fights with.
Yeah. And I'm not confident enough with Curry's strat to even try that in a tournament. So I just got to run a race I know how to run.
Yeah, I agree. Curry's strat is super difficult. It's wild to see people go for it in runs. Cough, cough, Speedman. But But yeah, no, I totally feel that. Like I've done curry strats a couple times in runs, but I would never do it in a tournament setting. It requires such precise movement up until that boss fight, and then if you're not doing RNG manips, you gotta have the luck of that pattern too. But you still had you got a couple double hits in, and I noticed that you caught like there was like one or two that you missed, but you caught the backup double hit, which was very good to see. So like even when you weren't getting the best patterns or like slightly missing stuff because of like the pattern they were giving you, you were able to make up for it pretty well.
Yeah. Felt pretty good about that.
So Speedman, I do have a question for you about the RNG manip. If you lose RNG manip during a level, are you able to get it back? Because I know that you had mentioned that you can kind of tell roughly what seed you're on by looking at like the stars that spawn when Kirby like bonks on stuff or releases something. Are you able to like get it back during the middle of a?
Sometimes, yes. Actually, in the first race, whenever I got to Wispy, just like a couple minutes into the run, I wasn't paying attention to my inhale and I missed my visual cue, and so I lost it, but I managed to actually wind up with a good pattern. And I was actually able to, after the mid-boss fight in Castle Lolo, I was able to find the sequence that I was looking for to let me know I was on the right pattern for a curry kill. So sometimes you can get it back, sometimes the each point in the RNG sequence, it's so tight that if you miss it, it's just gone.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's very cool though, because unlike like with a lot of games, especially with like a lot of RPGs that have manipulation, you have no idea. Like if you lose it, you've just lost it. But with this game, that's kind of cool that you kind of do get a chance to restart it. And is it, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it also true that if you like the seed resets every time you enter a new level?
No, every time you enter the level, you start on the last seed that you're on.
Oh.
So it actually makes it, from a learning perspective, it's actually easy to learn RNG manipulation because you're really just having to learn it one stage at a time. So when you get greens down, you're always going to be entering Castle Lolo on the same seed. So you really just have to learn each stage one at a time, and you're always entering on the same seed every time.
Okay, I see. All right, yeah. For some reason, I had thought that that the seed was like always the same when entering a level, but that does make it slightly more complicated in that if you lose the manip at the end, like you don't really know where you're starting out, so you have to try to find it somewhere in the middle of the level.
Right. Sometimes you can find it. Other times it's just gone, and you just need to go on with just hope for good luck.
Right. But yeah, that it's definitely fun to watch, especially like Reeler, you put up a very, very good fight going up like against RNG manip. It can be kind of difficult to catch up sometimes, but you didn't get the best RNG, but like you definitely put up a good fight. You were never that far behind.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I knew when I saw his face in Speedman, I was like, "Welp, I better practice." But I did get a PB earlier this week, so that was nice.
Oh, nice! Congrats on that. That always feels good. Especially like before, like getting ready for a race, you're like, all right, I'm ready. I got a PB. Like, let's do it.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, do you guys have any last comments or anything you want to plug or anything before we close out?
I think that's it from me. Good job, Reeler. Some respectable times you put up.
Yep. I'm looking forward to whoever you face next. I think it's either Belthic or Thomas, which that should be a great match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of hoping to face Belthic because he's kind of the one who got me into KDL really deep. But either one's going to be a really good match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Either race would be a good match. I did not realize that Belthic was the one who got you into KDL, so that would definitely be a fun and interesting match to watch.
Yeah, I actually started it before I knew him, but he actually reached out to me and encouraged me, and so a lot of what I do, I owe to him.
That's very cool. I did not know that. Well, fun facts for all y'all on stream tonight. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight for the little interviews at the end, and thanks for putting up such a good race for us to watch.
No problem.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, good luck to both of you on your future races. And excited to do some more commentary.
All right.
All right, I guess that just about closes up this race in the Kirby's Dreamland Cracko Crushing Tournament. Great race against Speedman and Reeler. GG to both of them for getting very good times tonight, especially GG to Speedman for that sub 11:30. Yeah, keep tuned in here to Speed Gaming 2. We got another Kirby's Dreamland race coming up next. So the next race is going to be, or actually, I'm sorry, it's going to actually be on Speed Gaming 1. So we're going to have another Kirby's Dreamland race on Speed Gaming 1 with Faster Supersonic versus Kelpsy. So definitely tune in for that and make sure you're there for that. But yeah, thanks so much for having me tonight for this race. Thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting us. Thanks to the runners. Don't forget to follow the runners on Twitch if you want to see some of their stuff. If you want to see weird, Fairly Odd Periods GameCube game speed runs, you can check out my channel. Yeah, thanks so much for joining us and have a great night, and I hope to see you guys over at Speed Gaming 1.